Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for watching. Today I'm going to show you some brilliant ways to use the Dollar Tree canvas. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up. And now let's craft. From Dollar Tree, I will be using 6 of these 8x10 canvas, which I only ended up using 4.5. And this fence, I recently found this. I am going to remove the plastic from all the canvas and the staples on the back. Now, this is a little bit time consuming, but if you have this stapler remover, it is so much easier and faster. Notice that there is 2 types of frames. One that is easy to take apart, and this one right here that has these things on the corner, so it makes it difficult to take apart. I did grab 2 of those and 4 of the other ones that were easy to take apart. So I'm using these right here, these 4, and the other 2 I am going to just take them apart by removing the stapler that it has in each corner. And it also has a nail, but that is very easy to remove with a plier. I moved to the floor to show y'all a better angle and so y'all can see how big the window is. You can also make this 2 different ways. By arranging the frames vertical, the window is going to be taller and you'll use less fence, versus horizontal, which the window will be shorter and wider and most of the fence will be used. The way I decided to do mine was horizontal. So now with the leftover pieces, I'm going to use 2 of the sides and just place them on top of the fence. So like that, I can mark it, and that is where I'm going to cut it. Now, I did use some scissors. Since this is plastic, it was very easy to cut through. And this is how it looks once I had cut the sides and the little legs. I will be arranging the window first before I start to glue it together. Now, I'm only using hot glue just because of the drying process, plus the wreath I'm using is not even heavy because I made it. Now, if you're adding something heavy to this, I do recommend you using wood glue instead. After I was done gluing the squares, I then glued the 2 sides. Now, to glue the fence, I do recommend you using like E6000 or maybe a combination of E6000 and hot glue, just so like that it can be extra sturdy. I am using Jenga blocks that I cut in half so I can add them to the back, and this is going to just help it support a little bit more. And that is it for the window. Now you can paint this whatever color you like. I'm painting mine using the mixture I have been making in some of my past few videos that I've done. I will have the paints down in the description box. I will be leaving most of the fence white except the top part. I made it look like it was wood around it. So the last thing I did was add a little clear hook and add the wreath. And that is it for this beautiful window cathedral. Alright, so for my next hack, I will be using the leftover wood pieces that I didn't use in my cathedral in these bowls. 3 come in a pack, but I'm only using 2. There were 6 pieces of these left over, so I am going to make 3 larger ones. Now, one of them is bigger than the other, so I'm going to just cut it to size so I have 3 of the same size. And I'm only using hot glue. I'm not adding anything heavy to the bowl, so if you do want to add something heavy, I do recommend you using wood glue instead. Before I paint these, I will be using a scent sheet to send them out. Using the same paint I used earlier, I'm going to paint these. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm only using 2 of the bowls and I'm leaving them white. If you haven't guessed by now what I'm making, I am making a plant stand. To add the bowls to the sticks, you can use hot glue or E6000, and what I tried to use first was the thumbtacks, which I thought it had worked. But once I had both of the bowls on the sticks, they somehow they came apart. So then I decided to just use a nail to nail them down instead. And I said nail, not a nail, I use a screw. Here's where I'm showing you here how it was falling apart, and this is where I decided to just use some screws instead. And that is it for this planter. The next thing I did was just add some greenery. My next hack is very easy and simple, but yet it looks so high-end. Now from Dollar Tree, I'm using 2 of the 8x10 canvas and 2 of the 5x7. Once again, I'm removing the plastic and the staples. The next thing I will be doing is just gluing these together. I honestly wasn't sure what I was making. I just played around with the frames until I like how they look together, and then I glued them, and once again I'm only using hot glue. And that is it. The last thing I did was just paint the entire thing using the same color I've been using. With this piece, you can hang it either vertical or horizontal, but they both look beautiful. For my next hack, I will be making another little planter. Now I'm using the smallest little canvas that Dollar Tree carries. These are 4 by 6 inches. Once again, I'm going to paint this using the beautiful color I made. The frames are going to be the legs of my planter. Now for the planter, I'm using this Dollar Tree pencil holder. And this is the way I'm going to glue them. I thought I was going to be able to just glue the frames on the side of the little planter, but since they were too big, so I decided to just glue it like this under it. The last thing I did was just add some greenery, and that is it for this beautiful little planter. For my next hack, I thought I was gonna use 3 of these 6 by 8 inches canvas, but I only ended up using 2. I'm also using these little wood square plaques that I got from Michael's. This pack of 2 was $2.99. So I will be making a lantern. These little plaques, one's going to be the top and the other one is going to be the bottom. Now I'm going to glue the little plaques upside down and then the canvas right on top. Once again, I'm only using hot glue. I do recommend you using wood glue instead if you're adding something heavy inside. To paint the lantern, you can paint it black, you can paint it white, you can paint it using the Waverly Antique Wax, but I'm painting mine using the color I made. That is it for this lantern. Now the way I decorated this is I added a little wreath and a Dollar Tree LED candle. Before I move on my next hack, if you guys are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps my channel. Now let's move to the next hack. For my next hack, I will be using the largest canvas that Dollar Tree carries, this 11 by 14 inches, and 2 Dollar Tree wood pieces. I painted the pieces of wood the same color. I then glued them on each side of the canvas. Now you have a nice piece of canvas with a wood frame. Now you can add whatever you like to this. I decided to use my Cricut and cut this "Welcome to Our Home." And I'm going to add it to the bottom. Then I'm going to add a small little wreath at the top. Instead of using a clear little hook, I just use a thumbtacks and then just add it to the wood instead of the canvas. Now to hang this, I will be adding a piece of jute twine to the back, and that is it for this beautiful wall decor piece. For my next hack, I thought of making a 3-piece wall decor, but instead I will be making a 2-piece. I'm using 2 of the Dollar Tree canvas, the 6 by 8 inches. I will be making a back to these, so I'm using some large popsicle sticks, and the ones I'm using are from Walmart. I will be using 8 in total, and I'm going to paint them white. So this next step, it's kind of hard for me to explain like in words, but it's so easy and simple to do. Now to glue these, both the popsicle sticks and the frames needs to be facing the other way around. Now the way I glue the popsicle sticks is on one of the frames, the popsicle sticks are going to go one way, and then on the other one they're gonna go the other way. So I started by gluing the one in the center first. And then I'm going to measure and cut the rest of the popsicle sticks. And every time I glue one of the popsicle sticks, I did leave a space in between them. And that is it for these 2 frames, which I think they turned out beautiful. Now I'm going to leave mine blank. You can add a wreath or something in the center, but I just decided to leave mine like that. For my next hack, I'm using a 5x7" canvas and this Dollar Tree planter. Now I'm going to start by removing the staples, the plastic to paint the frame. Once again, I'm using the same paint, but for the planter, I am using some white chalk paint. I did give this 2 coats. And look how beautiful the planter looks white. Now I'm using these flexible stencils that I recently purchased at the Dollar Tree. I think these are new because I haven't seen these before. Now I am going to add It's Good to Be Home. And to do this and it doesn't move, I'm going to tape it down. But first I am going to try to remove a little bit of the adhesive, so when I remove the tape, some of the paint won't come off. The best way to paint this is to use a sponge instead of a brush. I did go over it twice, that's why it bled a little bit, but I still like how this turned out. To hang my basket, I will be adding the piece of frame to the back. To add the frame, I started by adding hot glue first, so like that the basket doesn't move. And then I will be adding some screws, 1 on each side. This is going to make it very sturdy. And look how beautiful this turned out. The last thing I did was add some Walmart greenery. For my next hack, I will be using this 6x8" canvas and a small little piece of square dowel, which honestly this is another piece of a canvas. I'm going to cut this in half and then I'm going to glue it on each side of the little canvas. This is going to help the canvas stand up. Honestly, this was a last minute thing. Now after I was done gluing this, I did finish painting the rest of the frame and the other little pieces I added. I will be hanging this little planter. Now this little planter, I made it in my last video. I'll have a link down in the description box in case you want to check it out. And that is it for this little planter thingy. Using the burlap canvas, I'm going to remove the staples and paint the wood frame using the color black. Now I'm going to use the burlap and just cut it to size and glue it to the frame. To decorate this, I will be using this Dollar Tree wood plank. Now I'm going to leave it the color it is and add Family is Forever using my Cricut. To decorate this a little more, I'm using this floral pick that I got from the Dollar Tree and add it at the top. And that is it. Look how beautiful this Family Forever canvas sign turned out. For my next canvas, I'm using the black one and I'm going to just leave it like this. I thought of removing the canvas, but instead I just left it like that. Now I'm going to add this Decor house sign to the front, but first I am going to decorate it. And that is all I did for this canvas. This was very quick and easy, and look how beautiful this turned out. For my next project, I'm using the white canvas. I'm going to remove the staples and the canvas. And what I like about these white canvases, actually not just the white. Some of these canvases, they don't staple the corners. They come perfect. So instead, I decided to leave this one, this color, and just add some of these Dollar Tree wood planks. I'm going to cut them to size and then paint them using the black paint. I did add a little bit of water so they can look more of a stain. So they can look stained. I'm going to add the wood pieces to the back using hot glue. You can use wood glue if you like. And look how beautiful these look. Now I'm going to add this home sign that I already had. I did get this from the Dollar Tree. I also got this little galvanized envelope during Valentine's season. So I'm going to just add it at the top. I left the heart and I added some greenery. And that is it. Look how beautiful this home sign turned out. For the next project, I'm using another of the burlap canvas. This time, I'm not going to remove the staples. I'm going to just leave it how it is and add this bless sign that I already had. This bless sign is from Michael's. I did paint it black, and I'm going to add it more towards the bottom. To finish this off, I will be adding some greenery to the top part, and that is it. Look how beautiful this plus sign turned out. I will be using this 8x10 canvas. I'm going to remove the plastic and the staples. Now to remove the staples, I'm using this little tool that I got from Amazon. Once again, I'll have a link down in the description box in case you want to check that out. Using this tool makes it so much easier to remove the staplers. For this project, I won't be using the canvas part. I will be using only the wood part or the frame. And I'm going to paint this using the antique wax, but I will be using the paintbrush that I used earlier to paint my crate, which still had some white in it. I did try to remove most of it, but I left some of it on there, and I absolutely love the color this turned into after mixing a little bit of white with the antique wax. Now for the back, I decided to use 6 of these large popsicle sticks. These are the ones I use in my wood planter, which I didn't show you which ones, but these are it. And I'm going to just paint these using some white chalk paint. Now for the back, you can use the canvas part to make this. You don't need to use these large popsicle sticks. I'm going to give these a light coat of the paint, and I'm going to leave it streaky, leaving some of the wood showing to make this look whitewashed. Once I am done, I'm going to just set these aside and let it dry. After they are done drying, I'm going to glue them to the back of the wood frame. And I'm only using hot glue for these. One thing I did before I glue these, I just arranged them where I wanted them to go, because some of them were like bent, so they look like they were higher than the other ones. Hopefully I made sense, but hopefully you can see what I'm talking about here. So that is why I arranged them first and then glued them. And this is how it looks. Now you have a blank canvas and you can add whatever you like to this. Honestly, I wasn't sure what to add to this. I wanted to add like a planter on it, and then I wanted to add some greenery on it, but I feel like I do a lot of that stuff, so I decided to use this little wood shaped heart. Oh, it's not even wood, it's paper. I removed this out of a decor sign from the Dollar Tree, and I kept it just because I knew I could use this as like a stencil. Once I was done tracing it, I then used the color lavender from the Waverly chalk paint, and I just painted the heart. Now, first I thought of adding like a little clip so then I can add a little picture of me and my family, which I am going to do that, but I ran out of the little clips, so I need to go back to the Dollar Tree and get some. Now, I do want to show you the Dollar Tree carries these little laser cutouts that you can use, but I decided to use the one from Hobby Lobby because they are a little bit bigger, just a tiny bit. I did paint this using the antique wax, and then I just glued this at the bottom. And that is it for this beautiful family sign. I will be using 2, and I'm going to use 2 of the 5x7 canvas. I'm going to start by removing the staples from the canvas. Now, I did use this little stapler remover that I got from Amazon, which I absolutely love because it makes it so much easier to remove the staples. This wood is a little bit rough, and you can see the holes where I removed the staples, so I'm going to try to smooth those out using this sand sheet. Once I am done doing that, I am going to glue these on the sides of the wood planks. By the thumbnail, I'm pretty sure you guys already guessed what I'm making. Some of these boards are uneven. I did pick up like 6, so I tried to grab the ones that were the most even for this because I don't want my tier tray to be all uneven. To glue these, I am going to use a combination of hot glue and wood glue just because I want the speeding process of drying to go faster, and like that I can stain this today, not tomorrow. To stain my little tier tray, I'm going to use this wood stain. Now, I know this is for decks and outdoors, but I love the color, so I am going to use it for this. And that is it for this tier tray. I absolutely love how this turned out. The color is beautiful, and the best part is that you can use this all year round and for so many different things. For my next DIY, I'm going to use 2 different Dollar Tree canvas, that 8x10 that has the wood frame and an 8x10 flat canvas. Right now I'm showing you this one because I thought I was going to use this one, but I ended up using an 8x10. So 2 8x10 canvases. And this little LED home sign that I took apart. It was very easy to take apart. I'm using the home sign. I'm going to start by just painting this using my Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle. I also removed the staples and the canvas from the wood frame and stained it, and then I glued the flat canvas on the back. Now I'm going to make a wreath using some Dollar Tree jute wire cord and some greenery that I already had. I'm going to just wrap around 2 stems and glue it at the end. Once I had my little wreath, I then used one of these beautiful trims that I got from Dollar Tree. Now, I have never seen these at Dollar Tree, so these are new to me, but they are so beautiful. I'm going to just cut a little piece off and use it as a hook. Now, to add the little ribbon to the frame. As you can see, I didn't add the entire canvas to it until I added the little ribbon. Once I had that, I then went ahead and just glued the rest of the frame. And I also glued the little home sign at the bottom. And that is it for this beautiful home decor sign. I think it turned out beautiful and it was so easy to make. For my next DIY, I will be using 2 of the Dollar Tree 4x6 canvas and this scrap wood that I already had. I'm going to remove the staples and the canvas. I'm only using the frame part. Now, as you can see, the wood, I think they use it as a stain sampler. They stain it in different parts so you can see how it looks. But anyways, once I had the 2 frames, I then started to glue them on each side, and I will be using some wood glue for this. Oh, and I guess some hot glue. I did forget that I also use hot glue. But that is it. Now, once I had both of the sides, I then put something heavy and left it drying overnight. Once it was dry, I used the Waverly Antique Wax to paint that entire thing. And that is it, guys. This was so easy and simple to do. I think it turned out beautiful. For that let us know sign, I will be using an 8x10 canvas that I got from Dollar Tree and this other Dollar Tree sign. As you can see, both of these are being reused. So what I did to the canvas is I removed the canvas part and the staples, and I did stain it or paint it using the Waverly Antique Wax. Now I'm going to just place this on top of the other sign and use a pen to trace it, and then I'm going to use a little X-Acto knife to cut this. This will be the back of my sign. After going over it a couple of times, all I did was bend it and it broke easily. Now I'm going to just use a sand sheet to smooth all the edges, which you really don't have to since this will be going in the back. Now I'm going to just use the white paint to paint it, and I'm using the strict motion or whitewash, something like that. I do want this to look washed out. Once it's dry, I will be using hot glue to glue this back piece to the frame. Now you can use wood glue or a E6000, whatever you prefer. I'm going to set this aside. Now I'm using the leftover snowflakes and these beads. These come from Walmart. I will be using 6 and they're all the same size, and I'm using this Dollar Tree jute twine. I'm going to just add the beads to the string. I will be cutting the string long enough to where I know it's going to fit inside the frame. Now before I add the string, I am going to drill some holes to the top of the frame, and I'm using my drill. Once I am done with that, I will be adding the string. Before I tie the strings at the top, I do want to make sure that when I spread the beads, there is going to be enough room where I can add a snowflake, and I will be using 5 snowflakes in total. And I'm going to glue them to the string. This project was also inspired by something I did a few weeks ago. I did a sign that said fresh cut Christmas trees, and instead of the snowflakes, they were Christmas trees. For the let us know, I did use my Cricut. Now you can use the transfer method I used in my first DIY. Now I'm going to just simply transfer this let us know to the sign, and that is going to be it for this beautiful let us know sign. And that is it. I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Let me know them in the comment section which one was your favorite, because I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.